Hello and welcome to Ham Nation, episode 591 for January 29th, 2025. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Ham Nation here on the Ham Radio Crash Course. I'm Josh, KI6NAZ, and wishing you a happy Lunar New Year. Got a big show. Let's go ahead and say hi to our friends here in the studio, the internet studio, if you will. Hello, host. How you doing?
Good.
Hello.
Good. So, Gordo, how you doing?
All is well here, back from Quartzfest.
All right. And Don, how are you doing?
I've thawed out. It's 61 degrees right now, where I think this time, was it last week? We were at like 12 at night with snow measured almost in feet. In fact, I've got some pictures, some snow pictures of a very rare event down here in the Gulf South. If you want to roll those, Josh, I'll show you some pictures of what that was. The trunk of my car. That's 3.5 inches, and it went up another 1/4 of an inch, and I think we probably had close to 5 in the yard, but that was the easiest spot to get to it. And then there is the trunk of the Crown Vic. You can almost see my license plate there. And then we're going to go over to Biloxi, Mississippi.
Whoa.
That is not white sand. That is white snow on the beach in Biloxi. And then we've got a shot of the Biloxi Lighthouse, which again is right on the beach. That is Highway 90. That is the beach right on the other side of that lighthouse. And then we go over to Dauphin Island. That is in Florida or Alabama, one of the two, but a snow crawfish, which of course you've got to have down here. And then we'll move up towards Baton Rouge, where the LSU Tigers play. That is LSU Tiger Stadium. That is Death Valley. That is the most formidable college football field to play on, and it's all set up for snow. Look at that. Now over to Metairie, Louisiana. That is, of all things, a snowball stand. Yeah, and the last time we had snow like this was 1895, and here's a good split screen of 1895 and 2025. That's what it looked like back then. And something I don't think any of us had on our bingo list was someone playing hockey on Canal Street. Isn't that amazing? And then, of course, the iconic, a few shots of the iconic Jackson Square, all covered with snow. A beautiful drone shot of that, and just keep going through there. There's Jackson Square in the French Quarter, and there's one of the benches at Jackson Square. That's some good accumulation.
I was just thinking that's some serious accumulation you have.
Yeah, Cafe du Monde.
Wow.
Where the beignets and the cafe au lait is always hot, no matter.
You got to worry about the roofs collapsing in this. Wow.
Isn't that great? That's the Superdome.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the Superdome. And now we're going to go over to Pensacola, Florida. That's the water tower, the big beach ball at Pensacola, Florida. Look at all that snow. Another shot of Pensacola coming up here. Pensacola Beach.
Oh.
Isn't that wild?
I did not expect that, man. That's wild.
Isn't that amazing? And now a little closer to home where I live in Picayune, Mississippi. 50 miles from the Gulf of Mexico. That's my little town, and we got 2 or 3 more shots of Picayune. If you want to roll through those real quick, that's downtown Picayune, just crazy, just absolutely amazing. And then a beautiful sunset shot over our neighbor's pond. One of our friends. This is just like maybe a mile from us. That was a beautiful sunset as the snow clouds were finally on their way out. And then I've got an odd video that I was outside actually shooting some video, and this is kind of rare. So if you want to go ahead and roll
Nobody
this.
Tyler.
This is going to.
Well, here we go. It's the noon update. I just measured the snow on the back of the Crown Vic. It's 3.5 inches on the trunk. So yeah, it's a South Mississippi Gulf Coast winter wonderland. Huh. I guess it's a good thing we don't use satellite TV anymore, huh?
I heard that.
Wi-Fi goes out.
Yeah, but we don't need that.
I do.
All righty. Oh, look, it's Bigfoot.
It is.
Rare Bigfoot sighting. Mama, it's Bigfoot.
Tyler the Sasquatch, right there he is. So that's not quite up with the the very famous Bigfoot sighting film, but it's mine and I'm proud of it, and that's kind of what was going on down here last week. So
it's like the Cold Snap said, I heard you guys wanted to do Winter Field Day this last weekend. Let's give you something to field day about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see if you can handle this.
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Amanda,
anyway.
Hey, go ahead. Sorry.
I did want to mention real quick, Jackson, Mississippi Ham Fest is coming up this Saturday, and I'm going to go up there to Jackson, go up and see if we can see George and Tommy and those guys.
Oh,
and
great.
Bigfoot may be coming with me. I'm not sure.
Oh, that'll be
Look
fun.
for you folks up in the Jackson.
You say hi to the boys for me.
I will.
Amanda, how you doing this fine week?
I'm good. We're getting ready for snow tonight, but that's normal here in Colorado. Yeah. That's where it's supposed to happen. Anyhow, I have some great guests tonight. We're going to be talking. We got a crazy show, everybody. So we're going to be talking with Mark Wohlschlegel about DX Marathon, and we also have Wayne Wagnew here to talk about his home seismograph machine and his reports that he was just giving to the NWS in Boston. So stay tuned. But I'm going to jump right over to Mark because he has to jump off and get to another meeting. He's a busy guy. So we have Whiskey Charlie 3 Whiskey. How you doing, Mark?
Very well, Amanda. Good to see y'all. Good to be back.
You too. I'm so glad you joined us tonight. Thanks for taking your time out of your busy schedule. And we're here to talk about the DX Marathon, which you kind of have taken under your wing for the last couple of years now, I believe.
That is correct. We're right in the middle of scoring right now. This is our busy time of year, the 2024 marathon. So we're very busy.
Oh, so do you already have how many people have entered from last year?
We're right around 1,700 people. So we didn't have quite the growth that we did the last 2 years, but there's some reasons for that. But we're just thrilled. We're expanding, and there's just phenomenal participation. The biggest challenge that we always have is getting the word out, is right. Telling people, and you guys are helping me out just by having me on your show here with all your wonderful listeners.
Well, let's talk about it. So basically, you don't have to do anything extra special to be part of the DX Marathon. That's the biggest deal, is just submit your logs at the end of the year. Isn't that how it works?
That's all you have to do. You generate an ADIF file. You can go contest if you like to contest. You can casually DX all year long. You just accumulate your DXCC contacts and your zones, which is all recorded in your log. And then we have a brand new submission tool, and it's a 2-step process. You generate your ADIF file and you upload it, and you're finished. And that's it. And you don't have to sign up for the program. If you decide in December you want to partake in the program, you can do it in December. No problem.
Great. So if people start off this year, which it is the beginning of the year, thinking that they're going to do this, do they need to start doing logging anyway special?
No special. Just log whatever. You use N1MM, you use DX Labs, you use Michael's WA9PIE's Ham Radio Deluxe. Any logging program that you wish, you do the same thing. You don't have to categorize anything. You just log the queue. And then at the end of the year, or actually with the new submission tool, even mid-year or right now, you can generate your ADIF from your logging program and submit it. And you can, every submission that you make overwrites the last one, so you don't have a big rush at the end of the year. We just made that change this last year, and people just love it.
That's awesome. That's kind of helpful. So maybe people could do it quarterly or something and kind of pay attention to what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so, I mean, who are you trying to address here? Just everybody that's out on the air? Just, okay, give us your logs and see how you do?
Amanda, anybody that has a radio, an antenna, and a license is who we're going after right now. And in particular, I think if you classify the 2.7 million or 3 million hams in the world and the 750,000 in the U.S., what we're trying to do is get them to engage in this program. And in particular, there are a lot of hams, I call it in the 2 sigma level and the bell-shaped curve, that are running barefoot 100 watts, and they have a long wire antenna or a vertical out there. And with the Cycle 25 the way it is right now, and with FT8, which is some people like it, some people don't. But the way I look at it, it gives so many more people the opportunity to enjoy the wonderful world of DX. And, we, like many of us has done all of our lives when we have very sophisticated stations with Cycle 25 today, it's so easy. So we had a 400% increase in participation from people that just had a radio, a long wire, or a vertical, in last year's program, which excites me because those are the people we're trying to touch. It's not necessarily the people with the big, high-powered, world-class stations, although they also participate. The numbers are in that 2 sigma level under the curve that we're really trying to touch.
So you touched on FT8. So basically, any kind of mode of operations that you're doing, there's not specific, just keep your logs.
We have many entrance classes. Many people do single mode. They'll do only digital, or many people will do only CW. Many people will just do sideband, or you can do all of them together. There's a classification for just about any operating mode that you wish. And you can even, if you like a particular band, you can enter it in a single band. Like some people love 60 meters. Some people love 160 meters. They enter only in that band.
Yeah, the top band.
Or you can enter in all bands. So it really is custom to whatever you like to do in your operating style,
And so what, at the end, once you get all the scores tallied up, what does everybody get? Is there some fine certificates or some kind of awards?
We have, let's see, this year we'll have about 30 plaques for various achievement awards and about 130 certificates. We very much believe in rewarding people that work hard to work DX. And all those are showing on that webpage you're showing right now under awards. And so that webpage is www.dxmarathon.com. And I would encourage all your listeners, just check it out.
Sure.
We've worked really, really hard in keeping it current. And it explains everything in there that you might want to know about the program.
So that's a lot of awards to give out. So I'm guessing you have to get some money to do this. Do you have some sponsors that help support?
We basically, there's no fee to participate in the program. We have some very generous sponsors. Many of them are clubs. The one I'm talking to in 15 minutes here is the San Diego DX DX Club, and they are a sponsor. Many clubs sponsor, many individuals sponsor. I have a good friend in South Florida who wrote me a check for $100, which is basically a plaque sponsor fee, because he's really trying to increase the number of youth in our hobby, and so he sponsors the youth plaque. And so we have individuals and clubs, and that's it. And then the certificates don't cost us anything.
Wow, that's great. Well, I think this is an awesome program. And what I think I'm going to do to make sure that everyone remembers to submit their logs is to have you back on in December. So you can give everyone a reminder to don't forget. You've already participated all year long. You didn't even know it. So submit your logs. So Mark, anything else you want the viewers to know?
Let's see. I will be in Orlando for those listeners. I give a little forum on 215 at CS1 in Orlando on Saturday. We have new 2025 rules that are posted under rules there, and I won't go into the details right now. I would also like to encourage. This is a tremendous tool for clubs. I've given 88 Zoom presentations in the last 14 or 15 months. Club leadership loves this program because it gives them really an opportunity to involve their membership. And, there's a lot of clubs that are struggling today. And the ones that aren't are the ones that are engaging their members in something. I also have I'm doing a K9EL, John Sweeney, who was the previous administrator. I've done a Zoom presentation. I'm doing it for the third time on DX tools that are free, that are absolute. It's a phenomenal presentation, and anybody can. I'm going to schedule a third showing of that. You can go to WC3W on QRZ. Send me an email, and I'll get you scheduled for that. We haven't set a date yet, but it's the most phenomenal presentation I've heard on AIDS for DXers, and we probably had close to 60 or 70 people listen to it already, and that's about it. I would love everybody to check it out and tell me if this isn't for you.
Well, it's for all of us. Anybody that puts at least one DX into their logs within the year, it's for you. So pretty simple, and you can just kind of find and see where you're falling in the average operator, if that's what you consider yourselves out there. That's what I would consider myself, is working the DX contest and putting more in the logs and seeing what happens. So I appreciate you very much, Mark. Don't forget, I see on there you can follow them on Facebook. Just go to their website and you can click on that and follow, and you can get updates on what's going on throughout the year. So thanks so much, Mark. I know you got to jump off of here and get to another Zoom meeting, so we appreciate you very much.
I appreciate all of you. Amanda, thank you very much.
Of course.
Okay.
Thanks. All right,
Okay.
let's go to Gordo and short shots.
Okay. Wow, that sounds like fun. Well, can't wait to work with Mark on the DX. That's for sure. Well, Quartzfest had its DX, and let's go ahead and take a quick look on a wrap-up of Quartzfest. Our station, W7Q, remained up. Remained up like why? Like 45 to 50 mile per hour winds. While Don was getting hammered with snow, we were getting hammered with blowing sand. But, the hams persevered. Our special event station stayed on the air. And look at that BioWinnow battery. That's a 100 amp hour. And we did not charge that from Friday all the way through Friday, and that station was on the air, W7Q, for about 8 to 10 hours a day. So it really says that if you aren't plugged in, the BioWinnow lithium iron phosphate battery will really carry you through. And, we had some great seminars. The seminars were attended by over 500 hams in over 100 RVs, and certainly refrigeration, even though it was in the 30s and 40s, is an important factor for RVers, especially getting level and making sure that you're well protected in the refrigeration department. And we had some great talks there on RV matters, and we had great talks. YLs on the air on digital modes. And as you can see, the sand is hard packed. Right then, the wind was not howling. It was always blowing. But nonetheless, everybody showed up and made it happen on the outside. And we had a big area for tent campers. And there's one of our tent campers, Marilyn, with her vehicle and a tent to the back of it. And the tent didn't blow away. The vehicle just about did in the howling winds. But it points out that hams really stick to it and make it happen. Steve, that some remote and some on scene through the American Radio. And we had one day that the wind was below 20 miles per hour where we could fly kites. And as you can see, some of the kites went to new heights. And you never know what's going to happen at a ham fest at Quartzfest. We had 8 section managers there. We had EC. We have Southwestern Division Director Dick Norton. He was there. This was an ARRL type event. There's a Gordo van. And notice down in the bottom, no, that's not the satellite for getting emails. That's actually a flat panel for watching direct TV. It didn't last standing up. It's still operational, but I'll tell you, anything standing up was literally blown away. Dick Norton on Friday gave us the inside scoop on all that happened that week for the ARRL directors meeting in Newington, Connecticut. Things look positive. He had some great ideas on how to build even further. And we were there to present the instructor Academy, a nice seminar on how volunteers can take RL has for instructors. And it was a great time. Quartzfest, a big success, and we had prizes, we had donations, and we just had a great time out on the desert floor. They're looking for new management, so if you're thinking of wanting to do Quartzfest next year and you want to lead a certain area, we're going all the way from the top to the bottom, so we're hoping that some of you will volunteer to maybe help take over and help manage Quartzfest for years to come. Well, coming up to come, a week and a half away, is Orlando, February 7, 8, and 9. This is the second largest Orlando hamcation show in the country. Only Dayton is bigger. And one of the key marks is when you come with your family, the Disney and all of the other attractions are just down the street. So there's plenty for everyone to do. And you can be assured that ham radio in Orlando is, and for Florida, is very much part of it. It's a beautiful grounds. It is a fairgrounds that is run by the county and the state. And there's probably alligators in there, but you park real close. And by the way, parking is absolutely free. They do their seminars in tents, and the tents are air conditioned. They have a wonderful view. The audio is excellent, and you can really get a good feel of what it's like there at Orlando, because beside their huge exhibit hall that's going to have over 150 ham radio booths, they have plenty in Orlando to spread out. Now, for RVers, wow, look at all this. This is some of the RVs, and they have swap meets on the outside for the RV world. And as you can see, hard-packed, not sand, but good old dirt. And there is just plenty of sunshine and lots of stuff. And again, this is the second largest ham fest in the USA. And there's RV camping right there. So if you want to swap during the day and then camp out at night, you've got it. And there's plenty of room for everybody there at Orlando. The American Radio Relay League always has a strong appearance at Orlando. And the ARRL is there. That's Bob Inderbetson, and he really makes things happen. But his whole team is there for the Orlando hamcation week after next. And this is just but one of 3 out of maybe 100 plus commercial exhibits. 2 other buildings have all sorts of exhibits as well. These are not small buildings. Look at this. This is my favorite. If you're really looking for anything and everything, it's taking place. And that is just one of the neat things about Orlando. And of course, a lot of vehicles come in loaded with ham radio demonstration equipment. And it's at the Central Florida Fairgrounds that has allowed us to come there for a good weekend on the ham radio society, ham radio world of not only used stuff, but a ton of brand new exhibitors with new gear and always poking a little bit of fun. But yep, CW lives with enactment by CW operators. And for those of you down on 160, I think we found Amanda's loading coil, and the Q might be a little high on this one, but it's going to work out well. And of course, what is a ham fest without inexpensive hot dogs? I think it's $1.50 hot dog. Any other type of show would be like $5. So Orlando, we can't wait to hear about all of the excitement, because on a week from Saturday evening is going to be the Ham Ambassador Awards, and it's going to Heather, K8GEM, and David Anderson, K1AN, as Ham Ambassadors. They work closely with schools. They work closely with kids out in the desert, and they really bring ham radio and ham radio excitement in there. And a big thanks to John and Michael for heading up the Orlando hamcation because, guys, this is a tough one to pull off with all the things going on. And now you're number 2 right next to Dayton for the large number of people coming. Mike Bannigan is the one that also helps up with this ham ambassador, and I'm just honored to be part of that award. And it goes to David and Heather for all of their work as ham ambassadors. So we hope all of you will give a listen to them. They'll have a special event station on the air. They may have amateur television that you see in the background going on. So they're going to be everywhere weekend after next. So Orlando, make it happen again, and we'll see you there soon. Not this show, but I'll be there a year from now. I alternate, but you're all going to have a great time. So, Amanda, back to you, and we'll see you soon somewhere.
Thank you, Gordo. Appreciate that. And now we'll go to a word from Icom.
Happy New Year from Icom. This holiday season, let your passion for communication shine bright with Icom's industry-leading ham radios. Celebrate the spirit of the season with reliable performance, cutting-edge technology, and the unmatched clarity that makes Icom a gift worth giving. On the road, Icom's handheld radios offer reliable performance, long battery life, and clear signal quality. Built tough for outdoor use and emergencies, Icom keeps casual and serious operators connected wherever you go. The ID50A provides hours of VHF-UHF fun and enjoyment. Beginners will love the easy D-Star settings, band scope with waterfall display, voice messaging, and share picture function. The ID52A is the first dual-band handheld with a full-color 2.3-inch waterfall display, conventional FM and D-Star simplex, repeater, regional, and worldwide calls over the D-Star Internet Gateway. The IC705 and IC7300 are the go-to rigs for outdoor hams who love POTA and SOTA activations. Both radios feature a large color touchscreen with real-time spectrum scope and waterfall display for intuitive function and setting operation. The IC705 provides big radio features and performance in the palm of your hand. Enjoy HF to 50, 144, and 440 MHz with D-Star, SSB, CW, RTTY, AM, and FM modes. The IC7300 is an industry first to use RF direct sampling in an entry-level HF radio. This high-performance radio has class-leading RMDR and phase noise characteristics and a built-in automatic antenna tuner. The IC7300 will far exceed your expectations. The real HF fun starts here. Or upgrade your station to one of Icom's premium HF radios. With the IC7610, faint signals are no longer challenging for DXers and contesters. Pick out the faintest signals even in the presence of stronger adjacent signals. This is the SDR every ham wants. The new IC7760 offers a modern connection system with a separate remote control head and RF deck linked via a standard LAN cable for more flexible installation. Place the RF deck closer to the antenna feed point, freeing up space on your desk. You can even connect the control head to the RF deck through your home network, enabling remote operations from anywhere you're home without a PC. The ICPW2 is the perfect power addition to your base station. Take your contesting experience to the next level. The ICPW2 is a perfect, powerful addition to your base station. Take your contesting experience to the next level with Icom's industry-first linear amplifier with included digital pre-distortion and a built-in 2x6 automatic antenna selector for single operator to radio operation. For more information about Icom's great amateur radios, visit icomamerica.com/amateur today.
And a big thank you to Icom for sponsoring Ham Nation. We really do appreciate the support. Every time we go live, there is a link in this video description to take you to the Icom website for Ham Nation. You click that Enter Now button, give your name, your call sign, your email address, and you could win one of 3 swag packs every time we're live here on this show. So there's going to get a winner picked. And then those names go into the end of the month drawing for a radio. And yes, if you win a swag pack in the month of January, you could win a radio at the end of every month for the remainder of this year. So it pays to get on that list because you could actually win. And we've got a number of our viewers who have won. Speaking of winners, let's talk about those who won this week. Let's see, or for Swag Pack anyway. It is Thomas C, KI4VWD, Jake H, KF0IZP, and Colin W, KF8CEV. You have a swag pack heading out to you, and your name is in the list for next month's radio drawing. So again, big thank you to Icom. We really do appreciate the support. Now, I believe, Amanda, I am all messed up with where I'm throwing this to. So is it back to you, or is it to Dawn?
Whichever you want to do. We can, let's just go to Newsline.
Okay. Don, take it away, buddy.
Okay. Hey, you got me thinking about swag packs when you're talking about Icom. I got a little swag pack in the mail from Mike, W4OPS. He was on not too long ago talking about Parks on the Air, and he heard me mention my Orlando hamcation lanyard last week. And he messaged me. He said, are you really into lanyards? I said, dude, am I into lanyards? He said, well, I got something I'm going to send you. He sent me a POTA lanyard, and it's in my favorite color. Look at this. Thank you, Mike. He also made me a Newsline, there we go, a Newsline badge and a POTA badge. And he sent me a big POTA sticker that I've got on my big orange POTA box over there. So, Michael, thank you very much. He's got a website called hamstuffonline.com where you can find all kinds of POTA stuff and all kinds of really cool ham swag. So, thank you, sir. hamstuffonline.com, Mike, W4OPS. Very cool. I'll be wearing this on Saturday at the Ham Fest. So let's go ahead and see what the news of the week is like from the folks at Amateur Radio Newsline. From Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2465, this is Ham Nation Headlines for Wednesday, January 29th, 2025. The body of an accomplished skier in Colorado was found with the help of a personal device known as an avalanche transceiver 4 hours after he became buried in the snow.
A wearable, wireless safety device known as an avalanche transceiver helped a woman find the body of her husband, a veteran downhill skier who died after being buried in a Colorado mountain avalanche. 57-year-old Donald Moden Jr., who had once been a member of the local mountain rescue team, was likely buried in the avalanche for more than 4 hours before his body was located via transmissions from his tracking device, according to news reports. The avalanche occurred on January 7th on Red Mountain Pass, where he had skied for many years. News reports said the skier's wife became concerned when he failed to check in as agreed. Standing at the trailhead with her own avalanche transceiver, she received transmissions being sent from her husband's device and was able to locate where he was buried. The transceiver, sometimes known as an avalanche beacon, transmits on 457 kilohertz. Newer ones have a 3-antenna design for greater accuracy. According to several backcountry ski websites, the most modern devices have a transmitting range of 50 meters or more. A search team was called to assist with recovering the skier's body. News reports said that Donald Moden was the state's first reported fatality from an avalanche this season. This is Kent Peterson, KC0 DGY.
The Lake Placid Olympic Museum in northern New York State is receiving a donation that is more than just images and memories. This gift contains history.
It has been 45 years since the Winter Olympics were held in New York State's Adirondack Mountains. That year, the athletes weren't the only ones making an Olympic effort. 21 amateur radio operators followed the 1,000-mile route of the traditional Olympic flame as it was carried north along the east coast of the U.S., starting on the 31st of January, 1980. Along the way, hams in each local community helped with the safety and logistics as the torch relay team passed through. To mark the Olympics anniversary, one member of that team, Bob Josaway, WA3PZO, has donated some 100 magazine and newspaper articles documenting the 10-day run itself and the amateur radio's involvement. There are also 350 35mm slides that are being digitized, so the museum can add these images to their collection too. The hams themselves have more than those long-ago memories. Their volunteer work earned each a medal that keeps the memory burning as bright as that Olympic flame. This is Kevin Trotman, N5PRE.
If you're fascinated by solar weather and the geomagnetic effects that play with our amateur radio spectrum, you're invited to learn more with the citizen scientists at HamSci. Newsline anchor Stephen Kinford, N8WB, has more.
With terrestrial and solar weather on almost everyone's mind these days, HamSci, the citizen science research group in the U.S., has announced it is hosting Zoom sessions to assist with its personal space weather station network. HamSci hosts the sessions at 10 a.m. Eastern Time every Thursday on Zoom. The group is hoping to expand its network and improve data collection for additional studies. Visit hamsci.org for more details.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news since 1976 at arnewsline.org. With Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, Kevin Trotman, N5PRE, Stephen Kinford, N8WB, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe, I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW. 7-3, we'll see you next time here on Ham Nation. Now, here's the solar update from Dr. Tamitha Skov, WX6SWW.
Some fast solar wind from some dark coronal holes are going to give us another chance for aurora. And big solar flares could be on the rise again as new regions rotate into Earth view. Those stories and more are in this week's Spotlight. Space weather this week picks up in unexpected ways. As we take a look at our Earth-facing disk, we do have a lot of active regions in Earth view that are rotating to the west limb, but believe it or not, this side of the sun is actually the boring side. The more interesting side is actually coming up closer to the east limb. In fact, as we watch this filament, take a look at this very dense filament here. Oh, right about early on the 26th, you can watch it launch, whoosh, in a gorgeous display. Here's the replay with Subi. I'm going to pause it right there. You can actually see how incredibly dense this structure was. Now, this is not an Earth-directed solar storm, but it does remind us that these filaments can be very, very dense, and if they were to be Earth-directed, they could give us a decent solar storm, so we have to keep our eyes on them. But believe it or not, that's not even the whole story, because really where we're looking at with why this whole region kind of erupted is because we've got these massive coronal holes both in the north and in the south. These coronal holes are sending some fast solar wind, which kind of makes this kind of an unstable bed, so no wonder the filament got up and left, right? Meanwhile, these regions are likely going to merge over this next solar rotation or so, so expect to see a trans-equatorial coronal hole here over this next 27 days, and this is going to start giving us some fast solar wind in a repetitive basis over probably the next 6 months. We're going to see fast solar wind basically every 2 weeks. As this coronal hole rotates through center disk, you can see how large it is. It's a very well-formed coronal hole, and we're going to get some fast solar wind that's going to last probably 2 to 3 days looking at the width of this thing. So aurora photographers, if you're at high latitudes, you're definitely going to get an extended show. We might even see aurora coming down into mid-latitudes for a little while, which will also give us a nice show, possibly even some red aurora, depending upon how fast the solar wind is from this region. Now, as we look beyond it, we also have some new regions that are rotating into Earth view. These new regions are actually a bit more flare active. We've already seen a little bit of more flare activity than we have over this past week. And as we take a look at our far side from the JSOC HMI helioseismology far-sighted viewer, we take a look. This is the Earth side of the sun in gray. The far side is in gold. And as we watch the dates here over this last week or so, you can see those dark regions right there on the sun's far side. That is these regions that have just rotated into Earth view. They have lasted a far side passage, and they're not the only ones. We also have region 3957, 3968, 64. You can even see 3859. These regions are all surviving their far side passage. These will be rotating into Earth view here in this next week. So expect that solar flux to rise. Expect the big flares risk to start rising once again, and we could see the threat for radio blackouts. So amateur radio operators and emergency responders, you've got a few more days of a respite, but expect everything to get a lot more active over this next week. Now, switching to our solar flare and dayside radio blackout outlook over the coming week, we are sitting in the mid-160s for solar flux right now. We could see that dip possibly a little bit with this coronal hole as it rotates through the Earth strike zone. It kind of makes the sun be a little bit more dark than we'd expect. but it's going to recover quite quickly, especially with those new regions rotating into Earth view. NOAA's giving us about a 35 to 40% chance of M-class flares over the next day or two. This is at the R1 to R2 level radio blackout. We're sitting about moderate noise right now on the bands. That's probably going to rise over the course of this week, but will still likely stay pretty low when it comes to X-class flares. So the risk for R3 level radio blackouts will remain reasonably low. It'll easily as we move through the rest of this week, but it's next week that I'm thinking that these risks might rise a bit more. So amateur radio operators and emergency responders, you have a little bit more time to kind of enjoy the quiet, but expect the noise to start picking up. So the space weather this week is definitely picking up. We do have that big coronal hole that's going to be rotating in through the Earth strike zone here over the next few days. It could give us some extended fast solar wind. So aurora photographers, if you're at high latitudes, expect to get some dazzling shows, especially as we move into the early part of February. But then aurora photographers at mid latitudes, well, you know, you might be able to catch some shows as well. It's all going to be dependent upon whether that bright moon is going to be drowning out the aurora or not. So stay on your toes, but only if you're dedicated should you chase. And now amateur radio operators and emergency responders, well, you know, we've been enjoying a little bit of quiet. I mean, when we have those big coronal holes, there's not a lot of room for big active regions. So things get a little bit quiet and you see that solar flux dip a little bit, but it's going to start rising again. And we've got those new active regions rotating into Earth view and more on their way. So expect the latter part of this week, you're going to start seeing the noise on the bands really start picking up. You're going to see the risk for radio blackouts start picking up. You might even we might even pop a few radio blackouts, but likely it's going to stay at the R1 to R2 level. Not sure about next week, but this week you should be reasonably okay. So just hang in there. And then you GPS users, well, you know, the day side is not going to be too bad because we're still kind of dealing with reasonably quiet conditions, but we are going to have some extended storming on the night side of Earth. So expect that if you're going to be anywhere near aurora over the next few days, you're going to have to calibrate your magnetometers often, and you're going to need to check to make sure that your GPS reception is okay. But outside of that, everything should be all right. I'm Tamitha Skov, the Space Weather Woman. Thank you for watching.
Thank you very much, Dr. T. We certainly appreciate everything you do for us and, of course, all of the folks at Amateur Radio Newsline. You can catch Dr. T on X at Tamitha Skov, also on Facebook, Tamitha Skov, and, of course, spaceweatherwoman.com. And again, Michael, thank you very much for the lanyard, the POTA lanyard. This is cool. It was so funny. He asked me, you know, in that message that he sent me, are you really that much into lanyards? A little bit. Just a little bit.
A little bit of an obsession.
I'll tell you what, having a lanyard with a badge on it is really helpful when you're doing POTA because you never know when, like, a park ranger or a security officer will roll up on you. I had that exact same thing happen to me when I was at the African Burial Memorial in New York City, like right outside Wall Street area. And it was only because I had a little ham radio operator badge, kind of like one of these guys, which means nothing. Like to every ham radio operator, like this is just it's a nothing thing. But the fact it was just hanging here, nobody, like he came up to me and he thought I was some government official just doing my work or whatever. And I'm like, oh no, I'm checking my emergency communications right now. And he went, oh, good, carry on.
Yes.
Appreciate what you're doing.
Show,
yeah.
Exactly.
I don't even know what to say about that, to be honest. It's
funny.
Scary in a bit to think that all you need is a lanyard and a badge and it gets you places where you don't belong.
It's kind of like
it's all on how you look. If you're looking official, it's like the guy said when he was when he wore a tuxedo to his doctor's appointment. The doctor said, "Why are you wearing a tuxedo to a vasectomy?" He said, "Well, if I'm gonna be impotent, I'm gonna look impotent."
Yeah.
So it's all about looking impotent.
Couple of things will let you get in anywhere: a hard hat, a high-vis vest, a clipboard, or a ladder.
That's absolutely true.
And any combination of the two of those things, you'll get it. Yeah. You'll be able to go anywhere you want.
Pretty much. Hey, Amanda, I hear you have some earth-shattering guest for us tonight.
Oh, that's an excellent intro. I absolutely do. Let me introduce everybody to Wayne Wagner, Alpha Golf 1 Alpha. Wayne, I had no idea who Wayne was, and it's all X's fault that I ran into him at all because does everyone remember that there was an earthquake on Monday, I believe it was? Yeah,
Yes.
and outside of Maine, off the coast of Maine. Well, this wonderful gentleman right here reported from his home seismograph that information, and I found his information on X. So Josh has some photos, but Wayne, hello, how are ya? Thanks for being here.
I'm doing really well. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course. And I think it's really cool that somehow seismographing, I don't even know how to say it, seismology is a hobby of yours, evidently, but you're also quite the seasoned ham. So we're going to talk about all things with you. But so you have a seismograph, and I found this very interesting. And then I saw your pictures of them. Tell us what it is. Go ahead.
Well, basically, it's a Raspberry Pi project. It's a device that was designed, and the ADD board was designed down in Panama and built down there. And it just piggybacks right onto the Raspberry Pi itself. And it can come with a various number of sensors, 1 dimension all the way through 3 dimensions. And also the one that I have in particular has a pressure sensor that's very sensitive to infrasound. And I believe that's audio, and I shouldn't say audio, that's frequencies less than 20 hertz. So the unit I have only has 1 geophone sensor in it, and it's oriented in the Z direction or up and down. So I put it together back in 2019. I actually put it online around March 14th, Pi Day, right? So it's been going since then. I've only had 1 corrupt SD card due to a power fluctuation, but it was really easy to reburn it and
now
get it going.
This was what the NWS Boston. Now I highlighted this because Boston NWS also has their own Twitter account, but this is their Boston NWS/Skywarn account, which is kind of cool. So they posted your photo and said AG1 Wayne has this report, and you're in Maryland, is that correct?
No, I'm in Westford, Mass.
Mass, okay. And so they found it unusual that you had this too. What got you into wanting to measure seismographs? Like, I don't know how to say this, you guys. I'm sorry, I sound stupid, but seismology. Thank you.
Seismometer is probably a good way to, good thing to call it. I've always been into gadgets, electronics, you name it, and technology. So this is just something I wanted to do on the side as a monitoring, cool. device. And like I said, I set it up back in 2019, well,
I gotta say, this unit is not exactly the most affordable, but it's not outrageous either. I mean, what's the price point on that, Josh? Say almost $1,000.
Well, I guess tell us, what is the recommended? You've got an indoor model, an outdoor model, because that changes the price significantly. What's your thoughts there?
Yeah. Well, if you select indoor and DIY, if that's in there, it's a little blurry from my viewpoint, but that is probably the cheapest you can get in the Shake and Boom. But if you look at the 1D version, where it just comes with just the geophone, I think it's around $400. So that's really
affordable.
That's really the entry point. If you go with DIY kit, and that's everything you get there, and that would be without the Raspberry Pi. That's the cheapest option.
And then the Pi's what, like $70 these days?
Depends on which one you get.
So, and I think Josh has some photos of that. Now, Josh, is that something that you Californians would be interested in doing, like setting these up all over your homes?
I'm considering one.
I would think so.
Yeah. I mean, again, it would be nice if something's measuring it for me, because I don't get out of bed if it's like under a 3.5 on the scale anyway. So it would be nice to know what it ended up as if something recorded it for me.
So you can go through these photos that Wayne gave us, and Wayne, I'm just brainstorming out loud here to all of you, really. How can we incorporate ham radio into this? Could we get this machine to be on APRS so that people could see where some seismos are, and maybe have some reporting? What are everybody's thoughts on that?
I think there's a lot of data that does stream out of this. I have it online, connected through the internet 24/7, and it's dumping a lot of data out to some server that aggregates everything. There's a website you can go to see all of the stations that are out there. And you can drill down into the map and pick which station you want to see what's going on. As you can see in this picture here, that little cylinder that's in the lower right.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
That cylinder in the lower right is the geophone. So basically, it's just a fancy microphone. Very sensitive microphone. Little balanced weight in there, and it's highly sensitive.
Is that a tube of liquid? What is the tube of liquid? Is that liquid or an air tube?
No, that's just an air tube, and there's an orifice in there that sets, I believe, what frequencies the boom is sensitive to, and this is the infrasound detector portion of the kit that I have.
Interesting.
Now, does that say it's made in Panama? Does it say it's made on a volcano?
Yep, that's where the manufacturing site is.
Okay. And I just found this really fascinating that you can have like these home monitoring systems, and I thought, why don't more people have them? I have never seen this, and I always pay attention to earthquakes because I have family that lives in California, so I always want to know what's going on, and friends of course as well. So it's pretty neat that you can get them. I had to put this in there for you.
You had to put that in there. Had to put that in there.
This is Clancy, is that correct?
Yeah, this is Clancy. He's going to be 13 years old in a couple of months. He's a Belgian draft horse. I got him a couple of years ago. Well, it's go big or go home.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
And I think you have do you have a YouTube channel that you stream with doing some horse things, or?
Yeah, I do. It's King Clancy the Belgian.
Okay.
And if you search for that on YouTube, you'll come across it, and you'll see us in there. And basically, it's just a diary of it's unscripted, just doing stuff with him. So I'm just sharing it out there.
And I'm seeing a question here. Is that a transducer? I don't know.
Well, the black box with the tubes, that is the pressure sensor. So I believe it is probably like a transducer.
Okay.
And that vertical cylinder is the geophone. And it's specifically a seismic geophone, I believe what they call it. I think alone it's like $150 device. It's that sensitive.
Oh, there's Sir Chance-a-lot. Clance-a-lot, excuse me.
Sir Clance-a-lot.
And your wife is a ham, and I think your whole family is a ham. Is that correct?
That's correct. Everybody is. My wife is a K9 DOG. She was waiting for that call sign to come up one day, and she nabbed it.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Best time to use it is.
Wow.
Yeah, best time to use it is during like VHF contests when you're roving.
Oh yeah.
So then you sign off as K9 Dog Rover, right?
Oh, that's funny.
That's
now,
fantastic.
I put a link to.
Oh man.
I put a link to your QRZ page in the doc as well, because I kind of wanted you to. Since I know I didn't meet you via ham radio really, but I wanted you to brag about your ham radio because you do a lot. Like you've got 10 bands DXCC, is that correct? Am I thinking correctly?
Yeah, I think it might be more like 9, 10 if you count 60 meters, but it's, there is an award for it that's sponsored, but not in the ARL.
Oh, okay. And what other awards? You're also a very big stat guy.
Yeah, I started dabbling in that. I had like an FT470 as the very first transceiver or HT that I've had, and I put it in a box one day, and then I dusted it off because I heard, I can work easy sats with it, right?
Yeah.
So I was working the FM birds for a couple of years with that in particular, and trying to work all states and DXCC is kind of hard on the Leos. But once I got wind of, I think it was Green Cube, IO 117.
Oh yeah, Green Cube. Yeah.
I kind of retooled myself. I had everything I needed. I got an Icom 9700, 15 element, 70 centimeter Yagi, and a tripod. Wow. So out the back of my garage, I just started working this. Given that it's a MEO, medium Earth orbit, you get a lot more sky time, right?
Huge footprint.
In the transition.
Huge
footprint. So in a couple of months, I finished up my worked all states with that, and I think I'm probably like 40 countries shy of DXCC, and now that the bird is essentially dead, I'm gonna have to start looking for other avenues to continue to work on that.
Well, I just think it's awesome that I ran into you via X, and I'm glad you got to be on the show and visit with us and tell us all about all this. Is that your DeLorean, by the way?
I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask, yeah.
Yes, it is. It is.
Very
it's,
cool.
I'm fangirling right now.
1981, and I when I was living in Illinois, I picked it up from Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, you got to tell us what kind of radios you got in that thing.
I have only done an HT from it, but I really do want to get the mobile setup going.
Oh, it's stainless steel. It's got to be like the best ground plane for an antenna, right? You can do anything.
Yeah.
That or like a Cybertruck. I mean, they would be, either one would be really cool. So yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. And everybody, go check out the Raspberryshake and Boom. So if you're interested in monitoring those kind of things, we're going to figure out a way how we can incorporate ham radio into it. We, meaning not me, somebody else will, but
the royal we.
We as a team are going to figure this out and see how we can get some reporting done via the ham waves. So anyhow, thanks for being in here, and hi to the whole Hamily, okay? And hi to Clancy there.
Thanks, Mike.
Right.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Fascinating.
we gotta rig this to get APRS pumping out seismic information. I think that's the.
I am telling you, that is like, people. They already report like when there's fires and things, and it's in real time. I think that this can be a thing. Yeah. So we know that there's more earthquakes in Oklahoma and stuff like that. And they've had them in Virginia now more frequently than not. So I think this should be a thing. Let's start it. Somebody
it's had some shaking in Yellowstone too. So yeah.
There should be a way to piggyback that into APRS, I think.
Oh,
there's a lot of data, and you can access the data locally and parse just what you need, maybe as an alert.
Yeah, there's.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
There's probably some kind of if this then that thing that you can do. Like if it's a certain seismic reaction, you can have a Twitter account that would push that out and post it, and then you could do an APRS blast.
They do that with weather.
Yeah. I'm sure Boondock Echo. We can get Boondock Echo doing it as well. We can get the whole family involved in the automated.
I was doing that with my
side.
Ghost project at one time.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Awesome. All right. Well. Is everybody ready for Ham It or Can It?
Oh,
absolutely.
I am. Every time we're live, of course.
I love it.
I love. Yes,
All
love
right,
it. You share the screen. You can take it right away, and we'll. Throw
All
it
right,
over to you.
I'm taking it. Okay, what do we got? I know some of these are old, so I can't remember what I downloaded. This one I found today, though. This is a horn antenna.
Yep.
And
10
it's
gigs.
10
gigs.
gigs.
He knew exactly the frequency.
You called it, but wait, there's more. Oh my God, this price. $1,499.98 for 7 to 10 gig. It's vintage, so I guess that's why it's worth that much. I just don't understand.
Is that
this
why
price?
it's so
Can somebody
expensive,
explain
Gordo?
why it's so much?
Why is
They
that
have to be manufactured right down to the centimeters to be properly oriented.
Really?
Is that a normal
it's
price?
Like literally worth this much money, $1,500.
To someone,
To some people, not me. I just
Okay.
There you
Wow,
go,
I was
there you
just
go.
shocked
Okay.
at the price
Oh
point.
yeah,
so-
spec down the millimeters. Actually, it's pretty tight.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Or smaller.
It was pretty interesting and just a weird find. Okay, this is just like an open question. CJ, I really want to help you. This question is, question for all the Elmers out there. Which is important to me in my decision as to what type of transceiver to purchase? And if it sounds stupid, my apologies in advance. Nothing is ever stupid, bro. Don't worry about it.
No.
Where am I most likely to find the most activity traffic on UHF, VHF, or HF? Huge question. So I'm just going to pick one part to answer. UHF, VHF, you're going to find the most activity traffic on your most popular repeater. That's That's where you're going to find the traffic.
It depends on where you live, though.
On
you
HF,
could be in a complete
a
dead
big
zone.
difference. It depends on what time of day, on what frequency you would find the most amount of traffic. If you're just looking for something steady to see what you're hearing, obviously I would say go 20 meters, 14,300, where we always know that there's going to be active voices doing the maritime mobile nets. But anybody else have any quick advice for CJ?
It depends on where you
thinking
live.
it depends on what he's into. I mean, what kind of communication do you want to partake in? What segment of the hobby are you into? If you're into rag chewing, well, then you could say, okay, the repeaters, or you could go nets on HF. If you're into public service, then probably you'll get a lot of use out of a UHF or VHF or dual band handheld if you're doing public service events around your local area. Also, I mean, it just depends on what you want to do. I mean, there's so much stuff that is on both UHF and VHF as well as HF that it's just kind of like you got to find your little corner of the park and plant your flag, you know?
What say you, Gordo?
Yeah, I agree. If you are in a remote area with not many repeaters, the HF bands 20 meters during the day and 40 and 75 at night are really exciting. And that way you won't get bored with just maybe a single repeater that you're hearing in your local area. So that's the neat thing about this rig. You have everything.
Yeah, so
it's true.
Amanda, real quick, every Saturday we do the after chat here on the Ham Radio Crash Course, and we just take questions like this, just over and over and over. We take newcomers first. And whenever I get questions like this, I always have to drill down to, like, where are you in the world? How much land do you have to put up antennas? What is your actual dollar budget? And we just start going through the list of all these, like, things, because we'll sit here and we can pontificate and come up with all kinds of variables in all situations, because he could be in an HOA in a condo where he can't do HF. Maybe the repeaters are better, right? There's just too many variables. It's such a tough question.
And it
tough.
Didn't really mention if it wanted to do phone, CW, whatnot, but very open-ended question, so it's hard to help you, but we'll give you what we think about right then and there. Okay, good luck.
The only stupid question is the one that isn't asked.
It's a good question. It just it requires a little bit of back and forth.
Yeah, definitely. This is so funny.
That lamp. Is that a beaver lamp? Is that a beaver lamp?
Swear to God.
Yeah. 1 hour in and I've got beaver fever.
We got the believer. We got the believer lamp out here on the 891.
Oh my God, this is fantastic. Thank you, Michael Martins, for sharing.
Oh, it's KB9 VBR. That's
Do you know who that is?
Oh yeah, he's a YouTuber. He's very popular. He's great.
Well, I really expected this to be a Canadian station, because Bieber's from Canada. So when I saw the call sign, I was like, that's interesting.
Hilarious.
He is a fan, evidently, of Justin Bieber. So
I watch his videos all the time.
I do
Good
too.
Stuff. Great field day videos.
Oh, okay. Okay, so winter field day lessons learned. Fully charge the batteries. Find a laptop that can hold accurate time off grid.
Get a GPS dongle.
Make an Anderson to USB-C 60-watt cable. That's very specific, but okay, evidently he was missing that this last weekend. Sell my Yaesu FT5. It's garbage.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Well, that's an opinion.
I don't know his call sign or his or hers call sign, but I just found it so funny.
I'm a little scared. It was
so logical at first, and then I read the last line. I'm like, oh, so he was just having a bad weekend.
We need to find there's a backstory there somewhere we really need to know.
I'm also a little scared by the make an Andersons to USB 60-watt cable to power the laptop.
I was like, that's really okay. Fine.
But here's the thing. If you got a 12-volt radio and stuff like that lying around and you grab the power supply for the 60-watt laptop that has an Andersons and you shove it into the 12, of your radio, that could be a bad day.
It would be a real bad day.
So be careful with that.
Anyhow, I found that very humorous, probably more humorous than I needed to. Oh, this was really helpful because I hadn't heard of this, but I bet a lot of you already know about it. But evidently there's a QRP cluster, so QRPcluster.com, where all QRP is spotted, or you can spot yourself. Yeah, I didn't know about it, so if I didn't, there's at least one other person that didn't know. Not saying that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so good to know.
What is
Thank you.
QRPcluster.com, is that what that is?
Yeah. QRPcluster.com. And it looks pretty modern.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah. What is this? Oh, it just, once again, a foreign language that I have no idea what he said on there, but nice little mag loop antenna for your 705.
He's got a wonder tuner for a loop antenna, which is...
Is that this?
Yeah, that's...
Doohickey here?
It's definitely a doohickey. I mean, it's the high solar cycle, so I'm sure he can make at least a contact on it. But they're
I was not sure
fantastic.
how great that was going to be inside on your dining room table, but what do I know?
Bit of a compromise.
Just a bit, yeah.
What band was he on? I can't.
All of them.
tell
I mean,
me
it'll
this.
tune up. It could probably go down to 20.
Oh, and this is from one of our viewers, Brett. Brett, I stole your picture off of X. I'm sure you don't care. Anyhow, this is in Wyoming. This was their winter field day setup. Psychos, because it was very snowy and very cold this weekend. But they actually have a wood stove in that thing, and it's a great, that's great for winter field day or for hunting or what have you. But it looks like they persevered. 14 degrees, though. Dang.
Proper winter field day.
Good on you guys.
Got that cold down here last week.
Okay, so this is the crazy rumor mill. Has everyone heard of SV1GA?
Yes.
Did you hear that they were detained by the police and all of their equipment? Oh my gosh, what is going on? I haven't seen an update.
I know somebody who knows them. Last night I'd heard an update that they are okay, and they potentially might still be able to activate.
Wow. That's all I can say. That's crazy. I think, is this a very holy place? Was that part of the problem?
I am told that. Okay, so I don't know how much of this is factual because the person I heard it from can be a little spicy. I'm told that this is culturally a spot where it's like an area predominantly controlled by men. If that makes sense, it's kind of a weird story, but historically, it's a weird. It's an interesting place. So they apparently didn't have everything in order, or they ran afoul, or enough people looked at them curiously that they said, okay, we got to investigate this.
To question it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they didn't bring out their lanyard and their badge now, did they?
They didn't have the high-vis vest and the lanyard, the ladder. That's right.
Exactly.
Not speak light of it. I'm glad to hear that they're doing fine.
And a cert cap.
This is so cute because fired up my fancy logging program. You guys always have a notepad because do you know how many times your computer will lock up or your logging software? Just always be ready to write it down. It would suck for you to have to turn away QSOs because you can't put them in a log of some sort. By the way, check out that silly mouse. Jeff loves those.
Yeah.
Jeff loves them. I'm using one right now, and I absolutely 100% hate this thing with every hatred bone of my body. I hate
We had one of those in the commercial production studio at a radio station that I worked at, and I actually got pretty good at it.
Yeah, me
it's
too.
completely different because obviously it doesn't move. You move the ball on top.
Yes.
But they can be pretty precise once you get the hang of them. Those are kind of cool.
Evidently, graphic artists love them, but I hate it. So
Well, if you got carpal tunnel, it's good for you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What was this for Winterfield? Okay, I remember this. These guys have a lift.
Oh, they got a cherry picker?
Yes, and put their antenna on it. And it looks like this is probably like a clubhouse of like a housing development or something like that. It looks pretty cool. But it looks like they all got there and I'm like, well, that's one way to do field day.
Yeah.
So anyhow, way to go, you guys. It looks like it was fun. KE2EFX, so maybe in Two-Land. I don't know where they are.
Very cool.
This person is going to have some fun. Okay, that's a Slinky.
Mm-hmm.
And they said excited for the antenna experiment. So I'm hoping I can remember to follow them so I can stay tuned with what they're doing with their antenna experiments. Josh, I know you do all kinds of wacky stuff. You ever played with a Slinky?
I have, and the issue with the Slinky is that they move around in the wind. And that causes
and so does
tuning.
your resonance.
Exactly. There it is. So
you're all over the dial.
If it's a very still day, it's fine, and it seems to work better in like a vertical configuration where you can tap it, and so it doesn't slide up and down. But it's a dipole.
I was wondering if it would
If
be like
it's-
a bazooka or something, but
Yeah.
I guess not. Yeah.
If it's a dipole, it could be a little difficult. Yeah.
I have actually no clue what this is, but it looked really clean.
It's a little portable server rack or switch farm. That's cool.
Oh, that's neat.
Isn't it pretty though? It looked so nice and clean.
I know. I'm looking. It looks like network equipment and a couple computers. But what am
Let's see if he says up here, IP400 project, interest,
Uh-huh.
background and details, HF appliance space. I don't know any of this.
That
Project
is
mini
so
rack.
funny.
On the ZBitX, yeah.
So it says APRS is not worthless. That is a shout out to Mike KMRD,
Yep.
Ham Radio 2.
Yep.
That is hilarious.
That's funny.
That
That's
is
funny.
hilarious. I would have to send him a link to this video.
I'll send you that photo. And that's it. That's my Hammett or Canet or whatever. I didn't have any AI.
I didn't get a Hammond or Canet for my hat, Amanda.
I didn't put that. I thought that was last 2 weeks ago.
It's
Oh.
okay. I'm
Now
wearing
I
it
feel
now.
bad.
I'm wearing it
Are you
now.
okay? Now show yourself off.
So yeah,
that
this
was
is my,
hilarious. When I showed that to Jeff, he was like, "Is he doing that out in public?" I said,
This
yes,
is my
he is."
solar hat, everybody. Solar hat. It has a port there. You can plug your HT into it, and you can walk around and not be affected by the sun. Because I am of the skin type that shall not go in the sun, so that I can charge my HT while I walk around. So you better believe, Orlando, I'll be wearing this. So get ready, everybody. I'm coming to Orlando with this thing on.
And absolutely no women will approach him.
I was just gonna say, I bet Leah is like.
My wife said
in
you
the
have to wear it
backyard,
100% of the
like,
time. 100% of the time you have to wear that. That's the greatest.
Wear it to bed tonight. I'm really impressed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, she's
Again,
loving it.
I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, until you charge your phone with it, and then you're like a god.
Oh no, she saw she understood it completely, and she was like, "This is the worst thing you've ever purchased." She was more mad about that purchase than some of my multi-$1,000 radios. The $100 solar hat sent her to the moon.
That's a pretty high bar. The stupidest thing you've ever purchased.
I know. Thank you, Don. Yes, that's what I said.
That's a pretty high bar.
That's what I said.
I mean, I'm thinking there's some things from Temu that you probably purchased with good intentions, and it was horrible. So
100%. Yeah. Multiple times.
That's it. That's the end of this
AliExpress
show.
special.
So, Wayne, I don't think I ever explained to you that we did Hammett or Canet at the end of every show, and it's quite interesting. So thanks for
Wayne's
coming
like,
along
what did
on our
I
journey.
sign up for here?
He's
Hammett.
like,
Oh, well,
What
this is great. I can relate a lot to what you guys been talking about. So.
Perfect. You're one
Well,
of us.
Well, let's talk about the Nets. I'm sure they're mad that we've gone over. We had so many technical difficulties tonight. We appreciate everybody staying with us. You're all troopers. But if you even knew the half of it, check out D-Star on 14 Charlie, and we have Kev on 7192 doing 40 meters nets. So we appreciate them very much for taking those on. And join us again next month. Thank God this month is almost over. It's like the longest month of the year. Join us on February 12th for episode 592, because I think we're at 591.
Valentine's show.
It will.
Ah.
And do you know that will be the anniversary of me joining this show?
Really?
Was that we did? Jeff and I joined on a Valentine's Day with Bob,
really?
and I can't even remember what year that was, Don. I think it was 2011.
You were just a tender young thing back then.
It was a really long time ago. So, anyhow, thanks everyone for being here, and thank you to our guests. They were awesome, and check it out. Thank you, Josh.
Yes. Well, thank you, everybody, for hanging on as I had to recycle that a couple of times. I appreciate it. And thank you to the Traveling Ham for the $5 super chat. It's very much appreciated. Thank you for the support. We appreciate that. All right. Well, we'll be live.
Thank you to Mike, W4 OPS for the Ham stuff online for the swag. I appreciate it. This is beautiful. I love it. My favorite color.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Until we talk to you in 2 weeks. 73.
7-3. Stay warm out there.
That's right. I'm going to send that to Mike KMRD after we wrap up the show. I'm going to link him right to it.
I love that guy.
Do you want me to send you that photo? I can send it right now.
Yeah, or the person on their channel. I'll send him the link. Or their what was it, Blue Sky, or was it X?
That was, yeah, I don't remember.
One of those two.
I think that one is a Blue Sky.